the police is guilty of the following acts, of the following actually criminal acts. Firstly, a totally unjustified imposition of Section 144, internet shutdowns in order to prevent peaceful protests, which is a fundamental right of every citizen. But more seriously, the kind of violence that has been inflicted by the police, absolutely deliberate, targeted, brutal violence on protesters, on Muslims, absolutely, even non-protesting Muslims, they have targeted Muslims in particular and inflicted the worst possible kind of violence on the streets and thereafter torture in police custody, etc. Then communal abuses. This has come out again and again, this kind of communal abuses, and this is the most worrying thing, that we have a communalization of the police of unprecedented. We saw this even in Hyderabad when we had a People's Tribunal on these terror cases and terror investigations. We saw the communalization of the police. But what we are seeing in UP is absolutely horrendous. It seems to be an almost total communalization, not total, but it seems that the vast majority of the police force in UP has been communalized, especially at the higher echelons. Then arrests of totally innocent people, filing FIRs, registering cases, etc., totally innocent people, not registering FIRs against the people who actually perpetrated the violence or against the police, etc., firing without any justification, without following the process of law, brutalizing children, firing and killing people, brutalizing children, damaging property. They have vandalized properties of Muslims, gone into houses, vandalized properties, and there the question arises, if there is this Damage to Public Property Act which has a command responsibility, why should the Chief Minister of UP and the DGP and the senior police officers not held guilty and liable to pay for all the damages caused by the police? Because after all, it's on the orders of the Chief Minister that the police is doing this. It's on the orders of the senior police officers that the people lower down are doing this. So they must be held liable for all this. Chief Ministers and Ministers' role is very clear. The Chief Minister is on record saying that we will take revenge, totally illegal. Even if people have done some rioting, etc., it's not the business of the police to take revenge and to beat them up, etc. They can arrest them, they can charge them, but not take revenge. And this is a gentleman who is a history sheeter himself, who had about 12 very serious criminal cases against him, most of which he has withdrawn after becoming Chief Minister. Similarly, other ministers also, like Sanjeev Balian and Sangeet Som, etc., who've been clearly seen in instigating violence. Then denial of medical help, also ostensibly on the instructions of the government by hospitals, etc., to people. And lastly, the role of the media, which we have seen is also becoming as communal. Justice Shah asked this question, whether it is just on account of the pressure and influence of the government, but it seems that just like the police has become communalized over the years, it's the media also which has become communalized. Also, of course, part of it is because of influence of the government, but parts of it has become communalized. And this is a very, very serious thing that is happening in this country, that people who are in places of authority, even the media is in a place of authority in a way, and the police, etc., that they have got communalized. And lastly, the collapse of the judiciary. You see, because with this kind of thing that we have heard today, one person raised this issue, ki, why doesn't the Supreme Court across the street hear all this? Why don't they do anything about all this? I mean, this has been all over the media. And normally in a case where, I mean, there is complete collapse of the rule of law in UP, complete total collapse of the rule of law, we would have expected at least the High Court or the Supreme Court to take suo moto notice of all this. But it's unfortunate that far from taking notice, even when cases like the Jamia case are brought before them, JNU people didn't go after seeing the response to Jamia. People have started feeling, I mean, this one lady from the lower judiciary who made some good remarks about the right of the people to protest while dealing with Azad's bail. I tweeted that, and when I read the comments on my tweet, at least 100 comments saying that, hey, this is so surprising. We thought that the entire judiciary had collapsed. I hope that the senior courts listen to some of this, etc. But people have lost complete confidence. I mean, it's a collapse of public confidence in the judiciary, and these people don't realize this, that they don't understand this. That today the reputation of the Supreme Court is the worst that I have ever seen. It has never, even during the emergency, the reputation of the Supreme Court was not as bad as it is today. It's really very unfortunate. This is the most serious thing that has happened in this country.